During a double date, my fiancé whispered loud enough for everyone. If I ever meet my celebrity crush, I'd drop him on the spot. The table laughed. I just finished my drink. The next morning, she found out who dropped who. Tannen, 35, a senior chemical engineer, had been with Serafina, 32, a boutique marketing consultant, for 5 years. We lived in San Diego, California, a city that always felt too laid back for my ambition. Our combined income was high, but the cost of living was brutal. I made about $190,000, and Serafina made about $100,000. We rented a slightly cramped house near La Jolla. Our lifestyle revolved around the beach, expensive organic grocery stores, and long brunches. We liked high-end but trendy restaurants like Addison. Our social circle was centered on Serafina's large group of artsy, free-spirited friends. They constantly reinforced her belief that quality of life meant sun and leisure over professional effort. I often felt like the outlier, the one who actually showed up for work early. I wanted to build real equity. I wanted to create a lasting legacy. Serafina was content to drift along. I had been feeling the professional ceiling for months. My current company was comfortable but risk-averse. My projects were repetitive. I was seeking a position that would allow me to lead major, high-stakes research. I wanted to apply my skills to global problems, not just local product development. I had been interviewing quietly for roles that offered significant technical and managerial challenges. Serafina showed little interest in my work. She often called my projects boring or too technical. Her career was focused on social networking and small-scale client branding. She was comfortable with our current income, seeing it as sufficient for our vibe. The opportunity that came through was extraordinary. It was with a massive, international pharmaceutical and bio-research firm. They were launching a new division focused on advanced material science. The role was Global Director of Materials Research. The location was Basel, Switzerland. This was a significant global move, a jump into the top tier of my industry. The compensation package was enormous. The base salary was $410,000 annually, paid in Swiss francs but pegged to that value. The benefits included a full relocation package, immediate enrollment in a high-yield retirement fund, and a sizable stock grant. It also came with a guaranteed 25% bonus based on meeting research milestones. It was the kind of offer that solidified an entire lifetime of financial security. I decided to present the offer to Serafina over dinner. We were at a popular seafood place overlooking the water. I was incredibly proud. I thought the sheer prestige of the title would appeal to her status-conscious nature. Serafina, I did it. I got the offer. It's huge, I said, placing the embossed folder on the table. She set down her fork. She looked mildly annoyed that I interrupted her. Is it an actual director title this time, Tannen, or are you just managing more nerds? She asked. It is, Global Director of Materials Research. The firm is one of the top 5 in the world. The location is Basel. She opened the folder. Her eyes scanned the salary figure. She paused, but the pause was not reflective. $410,000. That's a lot, Tannen. I'll give you that, she said. It is a life-altering amount. We could be financially independent in 10 years. The prestige is massive. Basel, though. Seriously. Switzerland is where old money hides out. It's quiet. It's gray. I don't even think they have a good surf break. She replied, making a face. They have mountains, culture, and a global science community. This is the top of my field. You can consult remotely, or you can find new, international clients. Consulting remotely from a place that closes at 6 p.m. My friends are here, Tannen. My clients are here. My entire network is here. I have a whole life built in the sun. You expect me to throw it all away for, what, a slightly bigger number? She scoffed. It's not just a number. It's the opportunity of a lifetime. It's a chance to lead world-changing research. It is self-respect. Your self-respect is tied up in a number. Mine is tied up in my community and my happiness. You're such a typical engineer. You only see data. You don't see the real life we have here. Just say no, Tannen. This is ridiculous. She slid the folder back across the table. Her dismissal was laced with contempt. She implied my ambition was a fault, a sign of my social inadequacy. I felt a cold knot form in my gut. Her complete lack of support was the clearest signal I needed. She only valued me as long as I fit her current, comfortable picture of our life. Update 1. I did not say no. I accepted the offer the next day. I finalized the contract details immediately. I sent back the signed documents. My commitment was to myself and my professional potential. I would not allow her complacency and judgment to derail my future. The planning began that evening. It was executed with complete secrecy. The weeks that followed were filled with passive conflict. I tried several times to restart the discussion about the move. I wanted her to see the opportunity. I wanted her to come with me willingly. The company is paying for a scouting trip to Basel. We should go together, I suggested one morning. Absolutely not, Tannen. I am not wasting my weekend looking at boring buildings in a cold country. We are not moving. End of discussion. She replied quickly. This is a massive professional achievement, Serafina. I want you to be proud. I'm proud of you when you're here and paying the bills. I'm not proud of you running off to be a lab rat in Europe. Stop being dramatic. She repeated the dismissive lines often. They were designed to minimize my success and reinforce her control. Her friends quickly picked up the narrative. We were at a beach bonfire party a few weeks later. Bryce, a mutual friend and Serafina's long-time confidant, approached me. So, Tannen, I hear you're still talking about ditching the sun for a spreadsheet job in Switzerland. What's up with that? Bryce asked, sipping a craft beer. It's a huge promotion, Bryce. Global director. It's a career endpoint, I explained calmly. Career endpoint. You already have the perfect life here. Serafina is right. You're trading happiness for a title. Nobody thinks you should go. You should listen to your woman. She knows what is best for your shared life. My shared life is about to become a life of true wealth. That's better than endless sunshine and debt. I replied. I excused myself. Their unified front only strengthened my resolve. They were all addicted to the same shallow, expensive life. I realized I was planning an escape, not just a move. My preparations became meticulous and silent. First, I secured my finances. I opened a new private account at an international bank. Serafina had no access to this institution. I changed my direct deposit information. A significant portion of my check was now rerouted to the new international account. I left a decent, but stable, amount flowing into our shared accounts. I knew her spending was high. She would not notice the small difference. I created a spreadsheet detailing all shared assets and liabilities. The only significant joint asset was the equity in a small rental condo we owned, which was not much. I planned to liquidate that quickly and split the proceeds evenly. Next, I focused on the move. I spent my weekends secretly researching apartments in Basel. I found a fantastic, modern apartment in the Gundeldingen district. It was close to my future office and had great transportation links. I secured a long-term lease entirely in my name. The company's relocation team handled all the paperwork. I used my vacation days for a quick, final trip to Basel. I finalized the lease and handled logistics. Serafina thought I was on a required training seminar in San Francisco. I started sorting through my belongings. My technical books, my high-end equipment, and all my personal documents were boxed up. I used a highly discreet international shipping service. I told Serafina I was sending old scientific equipment to a buyer overseas. She barely glanced at the boxes. She was too busy curating her perfect social media life. I accepted the 25% bonus structure. I began liquidating small investments I had kept separate from the relationship. I converted the funds into Swiss francs. I was creating a robust, personal financial shield. I had my documents translated and notarized. I secured a new international driver's license. Every small detail was a step towards total independence. My focus at work became absolute. I needed to finish my projects flawlessly. I wanted the highest recommendation from my current firm. My boss was sad to see me go but gave me a glowing reference. I timed my departure perfectly. It was scheduled for 2 days after a major double date we had planned. Serafina loved double dates. She loved performing for an audience. I decided to use the date as my final observation point. The double date was at a very upscale, pretentious restaurant. We were out with our friends, Rylan and Jess. Serafina was in top form, dominating the conversation. She was discussing her love for an absurdly popular B-list actor. The actor was known for his rugged looks and questionable talent. Serafina often talked about him. She suddenly turned to the table, leaning in conspiratorially. She spoke loud enough for everyone to hear, including the waiter. You know, honestly, if I ever meet Zane Corvus, I'd drop Tannen on the spot. No hesitation, Serafina whispered. Rylan and Jess laughed heartily. The waiter smirked. Serafina looked at me, waiting for a reaction. Her eyes held a challenge. She wanted me to protest, to be jealous, to feed her ego. I did not react. I simply smiled politely. I raised my wine glass and finished the remaining contents. The insult was clear. I was disposable. I was temporary. I was just a placeholder until something better came along. Her words confirmed her utter lack of respect. I realized I was not just ending a relationship. I was ending a placeholder position. I paid the check and drove us home. The next morning, she woke up to a reality she never saw coming. She thought she was clever, whispering her dismissal. She was about to find out who was dropping who. Update 2. The moment Serafina woke up, I was already packed. I had a small suitcase by the door. I was dressed in a suit. I looked professional and entirely calm. I was sipping my coffee. The divorce papers were laid neatly on the kitchen table. She walked in, rubbing her eyes. She was still smiling about the night before. Morning, Tannen. You're dressed early. Big meeting, she asked. The biggest meeting of my life, Serafina. I'm moving to Switzerland today. I accepted the global director job. I gestured to the papers on the table. She walked over slowly. Her eyes scanned the documents. The words global director and the salary figure were hard to miss. The word divorce was even harder. This is a cruel joke, Tannen. Stop this. It's too early for your engineering humor, she said, her voice strained. It's not a joke. This is my flight confirmation. This is the rental agreement for my new apartment in Basel. I've signed the contracts. I've resigned. I start work next week. She grabbed the documents, her hands trembling. She suddenly ripped the flight confirmation in half.
You can't go. I won't let you. We're engaged.
We have a life. You went behind my back. I tried to bring you along, Serafina. You mocked the job. You mocked the location. You called my ambition ridiculous. You made it clear that my future was secondary to your current comfort.
I was protecting our life. Our community.
You are a terrible partner for making these decisions without me. You're terrified of commitment. I am committed to a life of integrity, a commitment you proved you did not share. I heard you last night. You told everyone you would drop me all on the spot for a celebrity crush. You were planning to leave me anyway. She froze. Her face was suddenly devoid of expression. The color left her cheeks. That was a joke.
Tannen.
It was a throwaway line. We were all laughing. You meant it. It confirmed everything I suspected. You see me as temporary. You see me as disposable. I decided I wouldn't wait around to be dropped. I am choosing to drop myself into a better life. She began to cry. The tears were instant and intense. She rushed toward me, trying to hug me. Please, Tannen. I'll go to Switzerland.
I'll get a job there.
I'll do anything. I love you. You love the idea of my 410,000 salary, Serafina. You don't love me. The partnership ended when you decided my life's achievement was not worth moving for. She pulled back, her face contorted in anger. You'll regret this, Tannen. If you walk out that door, we are over. You are throwing away 5 years. I'll sue you for everything you have. That is your ultimatum. I've already made my choice. I choose my career. I choose my self-respect. My lawyer will be in touch. He will handle the liquidation of our small joint assets. I picked up my suitcase. I did not falter. I walked out the door. I took an Uber directly to the airport. I was halfway across the country before she could even call her mother. The fallout was immediate and predictable. Serafina's emotional cycle began almost instantly. There was initial anger. She sent me aggressive, all-caps emails. She called me a heartless, selfish robot. I set up a filter to route them all to a separate folder. Then came bargaining. She shifted to long, rambling texts. She promised to change her values. She offered to be a supportive wife. I ignored them all. Then came depression. She posted dramatic, victim-focused messages on all her social media. She implied a mental health crisis. Then, the final spike of anger. She hired a lawyer. She threatened asset claims. She threatened to contact my new company's CEO. I remained entirely calm. I was logical. I was detached. I forwarded her lawyer's letters to my own counsel. My lawyer was an international expert. He quickly established that all my new assets, The salary, the stocks, the new apartment lease were acquired post-separation and were legally separate. The divorce was going to be simple. My moving day was quiet. I was already gone. I had hired a logistics company to pack and ship my remaining personal effects. Serafina was reportedly staying with her friends. I felt a profound sense of closure, not sadness. The door on my old life was officially shut. My new life in Basel was invigorating. The city was quiet, clean, and international. My job was challenging beyond description. I was working with some of the smartest people in the world. I led a team of 50 researchers. I felt respected, needed, and validated. I had a clear purpose. I started thriving. I joined a running club and began exploring the nearby Swiss Alps on the weekends. I began learning German. My social life became more focused on my professional peers. My work success was immense. Within 8 months, my team filed 3 critical patents. I exceeded every research milestone. I received the massive 25% annual bonus. It was for $102,500. I used the funds to make a large down payment on a small, luxury condo in Basel. The apartment lease was quickly converted. I now owned property in a world-class city. The news began to leak back to San Diego. Serafina had been telling everyone that I took a meaningless, low-paying job. She claimed I was just an expat worker making barely enough to survive. Tannen, what is going on? Serafina is saying you took a tiny, entry-level job. She says you're miserable, a distant relative texted. She told us you're just working as a lab tech in a boring city. A mutual friend added. I ignored most of them. I was polite only to her parents, who seemed genuinely confused. Tannen, is it true you're struggling? Can we send you money? Serafina's father asked on the phone. I'm doing very well, sir. I'm the global director. My salary is over 400,000. I am not struggling. I am thriving. I decided to stop the lies permanently. I made a formal post on LinkedIn. The post was simple. I celebrated the success of my team's recent patent filings. I included a picture of myself standing in front of the firm's international headquarters. My global director of materials research title was front and center. The sheer scale of my success, my salary, and the prestige of the firm were now public. The reaction was explosive. My old professional network was impressed. Her social network was stunned. The flood of emails and texts began immediately. Tannen, I am speechless. Global director. Serafina told us you were basically unemployed, an old colleague wrote. I apologize, Tannen. We all believed her. She painted you as a selfish failure. You look incredible. Bryce texted sheepishly. Her family also reached out. They acknowledged that Serafina's version of events was false. They validated my decision. 3 months after the LinkedIn post, she showed up. I was leaving the office. A taxi pulled up to the front gate. Serafina stepped out. She looked glamorous, but the confidence was gone. She was carrying a large, brightly colored bouquet. Tannen, I flew all this way. I had to see you. Global director, I had no idea. The condo is beautiful, she said, rushing toward me. You didn't know because you didn't want to know. You actively chose to believe I was a failure. I replied. I maintained a professional distance. I've changed, Tannen. I saw my mistake. I'm ready to move in. I can consult from here. We can start over. I want this life with you. You want this life. You don't want me. Do you remember what you said at the restaurant? That you would drop me on the spot. Do you remember calling me a typical engineer, who only sees data? You posted about your heartbroken victimhood all over social media. That was the real you, Serafina. I was scared, Tannen. I was reacting. I swear, I'm a different person now. I value what you built. You value what I built because it is now successful and undeniably prestigious. Your character has not changed. Only the size of my paycheck has. The answer is no. You are not moving in. I rejected her firmly. I explained the divorce papers were already filed. She escalated immediately. Her lawyer sent multiple letters demanding a share of my Basel property. She claimed community property laws should apply. She demanded a stake in my stock options and my retirement fund. My lawyer systematically dismantled every claim. He used the documentation of my separate accounts and the post-separation acquisition dates. Her claims were quickly shut down. She lost everything. Her final, desperate move was a social media firestorm. She posted long, emotional stories on Instagram. She accused me of financial abuse and abandonment. The campaign was an utter failure. Our mutual friends were tired of her drama. They called her out publicly for her past lies and her sudden interest in my wealth. The entire circle turned against her. 1 year later, I was thriving fully. My career was at an all-time high. I had purchased a small investment apartment in my hometown. My salary was now over $500,000 with bonuses. I was in a stable, respectful relationship with Alara, a brilliant biomedical researcher. Our relationship was based on shared ambition and mutual respect. I received one final, short message from Serafina. It was a direct message on an older platform. "You won, Tannen. I truly regret treating you like I did. I was arrogant. I am sorry." My reply was brief and courteous. I owed her nothing more. "I accept your apology, Serafina. I wish you well." Final update. I was back in the United States for a brief visit, meeting with the company's San Diego research team. It was a clear, sunny afternoon. I received a text from Serafina's mother, Mrs. Vance. She asked if I could meet her and Serafina's father, Mr. Vance, for a quick conversation. I agreed to meet them at a neutral coffee shop. I respected them greatly. They were already seated when I arrived. They looked older and significantly more subdued. They immediately stood up when they saw me. We exchanged a few awkward pleasantries. Mr. Vance spoke first, his voice low and serious. "Tannen, we wanted to see you. We needed to say this in person. We are sorry. We were wrong. We should have supported you," he admitted. "You don't have to apologize for Serafina, sir. I've moved on. I'm happy. It's not for her. It's for us." Mrs. Vance interrupted softly. "We raised her with the wrong priorities. We encouraged the focus on superficial status and social life. We taught her that a title in a big city was worth more than true, hard-earned success. We taught her to be dismissive of anything quiet or technical. You built something extraordinary, Tannen. And she threw it away because it didn't fit her shallow narrative. We are truly ashamed of how she treated you." Mr. Vance nodded. "She lost everything because of her arrogance. She's learned the hard way. We just wanted you to know that we finally understand. You are an exceptional young man. We are sorry we didn't treat you like one." Their apology was sincere and heavy with genuine regret. It was the final validation of my entire journey. It confirmed that the values I was ridiculed for, my quiet focus, my technical ambition, my logic, were the correct ones. I accepted their apology gracefully. I told them I held no bitterness. I wished them the best for Serafina's future. I walked away from the meeting feeling a deep, quiet sense of peace. My life now is a testament to the core lesson of this entire experience. Never compromise your future for another person's comfort. Serafina's betrayal and mockery were rooted in her fear. She was afraid of leaving her comfort zone. She was afraid that my massive success would expose the smallness of her own life. She tried to keep me small through ridicule. I learned that the only way to win this kind of battle is through quiet, undeniable, concrete action. I did not waste my energy fighting her emotionally. I did not try to convince her. I simply built a life so grand, so professionally significant, that her realization of her error would be a consequence of my success, not an aim of my revenge. My tone remains rational and steady, because I know the truth. I did not rage. I did not scheme. I simply focused my energy on my own potential. I found a partner, Alara, who shares my values and respects my drive. We are committed to a future of shared, meaningful growth. We are planning our next investment. My career is booming. I am happy. I am secure. I am fulfilled. I built this life. I earned this life.